Hey everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome to Ask Think number 86 for Monday, January 27th, 2014. Now, before we get to the questions or even the likes guess, this is kind of a special Ask Think. You guys have seen these in the past. I'm going away this Friday, so the comments on this Ask Think will be used for the next two Ask Thinks. That would be Ask Think 87 and 88. So you have a really good chance on this video of getting your question or comment into the video, because I'm going to be selecting basically two Ask Thinks from one Ask Thinks comments. So I guess you have a twice as likely chance of getting your question in. So go ahead and ask them. Also, it's even more special because on one of the Ask Thinks, my wife has agreed to answer questions again. So go ahead and ask questions for her as well, and you guys will get to see one from her too. Now, on to the likes. You guys are probably wondering how many were on last week's video, and well, I'm not really sure what happened. We only got 1,376, and Luigi to Mario, I think, because, yeah, Luigi to Mario, it's hard because of the spacing, guessed with 1,372. Now, guys, I want to set this week's like target to 2,000. I know we can hit it. Let's do it. Now, before we get to the questions, I want to remind you to leave your questions in the comments below. And remember, 2 weeks worth of Ask Thinks, so get your questions in now. Remember, though, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. Now on to the questions, and Shadowleaf asks, are you taking your wife somewhere nice for Valentine's Day? Well, as you guys know, when I go away on vacation, I go for 2 weeks, and I will be in Dubai for Valentine's Day, so I guess I better take her out to dinner to a nice place. 1999 Blue asks, hey, Think, if we can guess how many likes, why can't we guess how many dislikes? Well, you know, that you could, but if someone said, oh, I think there's going to be 89 dislikes, and they're like, man, there's only 5, I better dislike it so I can get it up to my number. So yeah, no thanks. Lane Owen asks, when you do Ask Think, do you already play the game? Because when you're playing, you're staying so calm. Yes, the background footage is always pre-recorded. If you want to see what's on my screen when I'm actually recording the audio, click the raw recording link in the description, and you can see what's exactly on my screen as I'm doing it, and you can also see all the mistakes I make and stuff. The next two comments talk about last week's Ask Think. And yes, I was making an adventure map. You guys may remember it. I did that snapshot adventure, and I wanted to make a part 2. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it. So that's what I was doing in that video, and that's what I'm doing in the background here as I'm continuing to flesh out the adventure so that you guys get a nice video and sort of highlighting more of the features of 1.8. Misty Swirl 2 is addressing something that someone asked, and they weren't sure if Kopi was a boy or a girl, but Misty Swirl 2 says in several of them, I believe he writes in the comment variations, here's Kopi, isn't she so cute? I could be wrong, but in at least one of them, he mentions she's cute and she's a she, and also in his video, sometimes he makes a reference to her as a she. Yes, that is correct. Officially, Kopi is a girl. Glenn San Diego says, who are the winners of the giveaways from the milestone video for 200,000 noodlers? I haven't chosen them yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until Friday, right before I leave, before I go ahead and select the winners, because I wanted to give everyone a chance to watch the video and enter their comment so that they could win, be one of the 5 winners. And if you guys don't already know, I hit 200,000 subscribers over the weekend. Woohoo! And what I wanted to do in the video, if you guys go watch it, I'm going to give away either 5, I'm going to select 5 random people, and they can choose one of 3 different things. That would be a Minecraft gift code if you don't already have Minecraft. It would be a lifetime gold membership on my server, Core MC, or one of the new t-shirt designs from my t-shirt shop. I can have it sent to you from Spreadshirt with the custom t-shirt design, or, well, you could just get one of the old ones too. It doesn't matter. You can choose any one you like, but I really like the new one. So anyway, go check that out if you haven't already. Purple Owlcat says, what do you think of when you hear the word island? Is it anything like the island of Manhattan? No. When I think of the word island, I think of a tropical island, actually. Rory529 asks, what was your favorite subject in school? It was the sciences. When I was in high school, I really liked chemistry. And then when I was in college, I liked physics all the way up until I got to quantum physics. Levi Seichel asks, question, I'm new and I would like to know, why did you name your server the Core? Well, I didn't name it the Core. It was already named the Core, and it was launched back in June of last year, June or July, with the Hot Potato game and a couple of other games. But that was when it was originally launched. And when I came on, they asked me, do you want to rename it or anything like that? And I thought, you know what, guys, I'm coming on as part owner of this, and you guys have done a lot here already, and I don't want to take the name away from you, and people already recognize it. So we left it as the Core. And speaking of the Core, Toxic Orb says, hey, think robust water from coremc.us moderator. My question is, a lot of YouTubers really don't care if their channel is family friendly. What were your motives to keep your channel family friendly? Thanks. It's just always been the way I've felt about entertainment. I've always felt that entertainment, especially in this space, and what I mean by that is video games. Video games can be enjoyed by all ages, but I know that primarily it's enjoyed by younger adults and children. And I thought it was very important for me to just project a role model type of persona, and I try and live my life that way too, but I'm a little bit less in control of my language when I'm not on camera, but I do try, and it's just important for me to be family friendly, and because I know that younger children are watching, and I know some people's parents may not know what they're watching, and I want them to have to worry less when they watch my channel. Daniel Schmidt says, do you have a higher chance of getting your question answered if you ask on a Monday than on the weekend? Nope, it doesn't matter when you ask it. It's just as likely a chance as long as YouTube doesn't delete it. Juliana R says, do you think if you had 4 kids, like my parents do, would you think you would be able to go on vacations as much as you and your wife do now? No. Having to pay for 6 people to go instead of 2, we would not be able to go as often, or if we did, we wouldn't be able to go to the places that we go. Sam, the Gamer TV says, hey, have you ever been to any islands in the Caribbean Sea? Yes, I have. In fact, if you've watched my Draw My Life and I said I got married on the beach, that was on a Caribbean island. Amelia Kirstic asks, can you make a video on Siri for your iPhone, and can we not see your face? For those people, one question you have to ask is, Siri, what does the fox say? Guys, if you have an iPhone, you've got to do this. I did this myself, and I showed it to my wife, and she didn't really know what does the fox say video was about, so I had to show her that afterward, which made it not that funny because she was like, I asked Siri, and anyway, what Siri does is when you ask what does the fox say, it does the ring a ding 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 ding, or pop 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 pow. But it's funny because you can hear her say it, and she like repeats it really fast instead of saying like pop 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 pow. She goes pop 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 pow. It's really awesome. But I showed it to my wife, and she's like, I don't, and I was like, isn't it funny? It does what does the fox say? And she's like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, oh no. So I showed her the video after, and she's like, oh, I get it. And I was like, no, it's got to be the other way around. It's not as funny. But anyway, yeah, that was awesome. Rosie R asks, have you watched Frozen? I haven't watched it, but I heard it's a really good movie. New Lawn. I haven't yet. I want to, and I'm hoping that on my plane trip, we'll be able to watch it, although it's still in theaters, so probably not. But when it does come out on streaming over like Amazon Instant Video or something, I'll watch it. LEK says, think in your shop, can you make sweatshirts available too? That's because I don't really wear hoodies that much, but I do wear sweatshirts. So I went into the console for the t-shirt shop and I looked for it and I couldn't find any. For some reason, in kid sizes, all they have are hoodies, and they have zippered hoodies and pullover hoodies. And yeah, that's all I could select. And then when I went to just do sweatshirts for adults, it won't let me put any designs on it. It just does a blank thing, or you could just type text, but you can't upload a graphic to it. So I'm really sorry. The only options that it'll let me have are hoodies. LBS Catnip TV says, what would you do if someone wearing one of your shirts walked up to you and asked to pet your dog and didn't realize who you are? If I were you, I would point and say, I love that YouTuber. No, you know what I would do is I would let them pet Kopi and everything. And then, you know, people, when they're about to leave, they always say goodbye or thank you or something like that. When they walk away, I would just say, well, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for petting Kopi. And of course, noodle on and see what they said. Orvin Basid asks, why haven't you uploaded any Kopi videos in a year? That's not true. I uploaded a Kopi video about a month ago with her in slow motion throwing a fit on my bed. Alyssa Kath asks, why are camera lens circles when photos come out as rectangles? Well, I think that's one of those questions where, you know, people ask it and people know the answer, but they ask it because it's kind of funny. But the reason a camera lens is a circle is to collect light, kind of like our eyeballs. And, well, exactly like our eyeballs, actually. And the reason photos come out as a rectangle is because of the sensor on the back that collects all that light and information is a rectangle. Bladed Arc asks, will you ever play Free Realms? Well, that's an appropriate and topical question as of late. And the reason I say that is, for those of you who don't know, and probably not many of you do, because Free Realms came out in 2008, I think it was. Could have been 2009. Anyway, when it came out, it was kind of a big deal at the time, but it just wasn't promoted well. And not only that, it just wasn't developed well. They started with a lot of great content, and they just didn't continue adding content, and it was storyline MMO-based MMORPG. And I had a lot of fun playing it, guys, in the beginning. A lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people. We did a lot of cool things, exploring the maps and stuff. It was fun, but it really turned into more of a just, I guess, a money grab is kind of where it went. And it just never really... they never really expanded on its potential. Anyway, fast forward to this past weekend, and Sony Online Entertainment, who is the creator and owner of Free Realms and various other MMORPGs, announced that they will be shutting down 4 of their games, including Free Realms. I think that they're going to be closing it either at the end of March or the end of February. I'm not sure which. So no, I won't be playing Free Realms because it's gonna be closing. So that's it. And what can you do? It just happens, guys, over time. Especially with games that just never really caught on. The companies can only allocate so many resources to it. Even if you love the game, it's just the way it goes sometimes. Caleb Diaz asks, I have a suggestion. What if you display a fan art at the beginning of every Ask Think, sort of like Dan on his vlogs? Well, I may do that at the beginning of every Ask Think, but I was also thinking of doing maybe like monthly fan art opening mailbox, P.O. box things, doing a video like that once a month. But if not, that might be a good idea. Finley Allen asks, what if we don't live in the US? Can we still send you fan art? By the way, congratulations on the 200,000 subs. Keep it up. Thank you. And yes, you can. P.O. boxes can be mailed to from anywhere outside the US. Sarah Hill says, hi, you know that shirt you wore to Minecon? Well, I think you should add it to your t-shirt shop. Please answer this. Thank you. I would love to. Unfortunately, the printing process that was used is different than the one that Spreadshirt uses. And you can't do all over shirt printing in the way that that shirt needs to be. Spreadshirt only has a small box in the center of the chest where you can put a t-shirt design. You can't do the whole thing like the sleeves and the collar and all that stuff like it needs to be. So unfortunately, I can't add it to my t-shirt shop, but I totally wish I could. Mr. Want asks, who is your favorite singer or band, and what is your favorite song by them? Well, my favorite singer or band is Dave Matthews Band, and I don't know what my favorite song is. There are a ton of songs, and I love all of them. But it brings up something that is kind of related to your question, kind of unrelated, and it's sort of... Okay, so there's... A few years ago, I met a kid who was a really big fan of Dave Matthews Band, just like me. And I think he was 14 or 15 at the time, and his name was Sam Burns. He was an amazing kid with a very rare disease called progeria. And I'll spell it for you guys. It's Progeria. And it's a degenerative condition that is extremely rare, 1 in 4 million. So basically, there's only about 5, more than 5, maybe less than 10 kids in the whole United States that has this disease, and he was one of them. And unfortunately, I found out that a few weeks ago, he passed away due to the disease. And this disease is a disease in which the person gets it from birth. You have it from birth, and they just age very, very quickly. So basically, when he was 14 years old, in our terms, in years, his body was about 90 years old. And there's nothing that doctors can do, and there's not a lot of research about it. And that's why I'm kind of telling you guys about this, because it's one of the things that when we met Sam, and my wife met him too, when we left, she had to get on the internet and look up this disease because she didn't know anything about it. She'd never heard about it. And she's been through medical school and a few years of residency and never come across it. And I thought, wow, I've got a very smart doctor here who's been through medical school and never heard of this condition. And that's why I'm telling you guys about it, because I want a lot of people to know more about this disease. And you guys are the future. And there's 200,000 of you. And I'm sure that 1 or 2 of you, or maybe more than that, hopefully, are going to be doctors. And I want you to be aware of this condition now. And maybe when you guys get into medical school and become doctors, you'll be aware of progeria and maybe do some research on it, because it's really hard to do research, obviously, because there's very, very few people afflicted with it. But people like Sam are amazing, amazing people. And if we could figure out what was going on and how to stop it, or at least slow it down, they could live more of their lives. Also, if you'd like to know more about Sam and his condition, he was featured in an HBO documentary called Life According to Sam. And I'll put a link in the description to either HBO or something about the movie so you guys can check it out, learn a little bit more about progeria and about Sam, because that he was a great kid, amazing kid. And I'm, I wanted to do as much as I could to help other kids with progeria maybe in the future. Kiva Penguin asks, hey there, Thinky, my rabbit just got spayed today, but I'm nervous how she's gonna take it. She always licks your face, makes you feel better with her affection, and I'm scared she might have lost all that after surgery. Will she be okay, and what was Kopi like after she was spayed? Well, I can't speak for rabbits, but I do know that Kopi was exactly the same after she got spayed. Piper Adventure 13 says, hey, Think, do you have the shirts from your Spreadshirt website at your house, or how does it work? No, they're not at my house. Basically, when you place an order, Spreadshirt has manufacturing facilities, and they go ahead and print the t-shirt for you and send it away. I don't have any of that stuff at home. Clayton Pinter says, Mr. Thinker of Noodles, does Kopi sleep with you and your wife or in a doggy bed? It depends. She does have a dog bed, but it depends on how she's feeling. Sometimes she sleeps in our bed, sometimes she sleeps in the dog bed. Ollie MC says, yo, Think, you love skiing, right? And you've been to Paris? So have you been skiing in the Alps? No, I've never been skiing outside of the United States. Mr. Ethan Walto says, for Beast Node, if you use the code NOODLEON, you only get 15% off and not 25%. Can they update this, please? I talked to the owner of Beast Node this morning, and he said he tried it and it seemed to work at the 25% off, but he did reset the code just to make sure that it is 25% off. Brendan Sweet says, are you going to the Super Bowl since it is in New York Giants Jet Stadium? No, I'm actually leaving on Friday, so I won't even be in the US when the Super Bowl goes. Mike Bartelli says, hey, Think, I was wondering, sometime I wanted to be in one of your videos, so I thought, what if you could do something like email all your subs and tell them you're doing a video like on the Hive or Core, etc. I want to be in one of your videos so bad. P.S. Noodle on. Well, I usually, whenever I go on the Core, I usually tweet. So if you follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/think_noodles, and I say I'm going on the Core, go ahead and head over there and you can be in the video. Manny Chaidez asks, Think, how long did it take you to make your Minecraft skin? Well, technically it took about 2 weeks, but I mean, I guess in hours, because I did it in pieces. I would say about, with trial and error and everything, and finally getting to a point where I liked, probably about 6 hours. Callum Smith says, hey, Think, I have a problem. I've slabbed the nether and made a farm like you, but nothing's spawning in my farm. Why is this happening? Well, there could be a few reasons. One, you may have not built the farm in areas that are spawnable by wither skeletons and whatnot, so it may just be spawning pigmen. I don't know. But you also have to make sure that if you used half slabs for the farm area, make sure that your feet are not standing on a 0.5 Y value in your coordinates. And, the other thing is you may have slabbed the nether, but you may not have slabbed enough of it. So that could be the other reason. Minecraft 2 Unique says, Think, can you help me on the Core on the minigame blockades at the end of the game when it says traps constructed leader? What does it mean when it says traps constructed leader? How do you do that? Well, we don't have them yet, but there will be a future update to blockades where you can create traps. Christopher Velazquez asks, how do you get Hexit Noodle on? I'll put a link in the description, but all you need to do is download the Technic launcher and click it and then just log in and you're good to go. Pink Diamonds asks, hey, Think, why am I always a Steve on the Core? To me, I'm not, but to other people, I am. And I noticed you were a Steve, but other people aren't Steves. So what's up with that? It has to do with the length of the username. One of the plugins that adds the color to usernames also deletes the last couple of characters off the username. So when my character is on, it thinks that my my username is like Real Think Nude instead of Real Think Noodles. The LES gets dropped off, so it makes me a Steve. We're working on fixing that though. Beck Jackson asks, dear Mr. Think, I have a question for you. I know you have been slabbing the nether for quite a while to stop mobs from spawning. Well, you could just make a giant wall and slab everything inside the wall. That way, if something does spawn outside the wall, it won't be able to get in. You can make the wall blocks that gas can't break. Well, here's the thing. It's not about whether they can get in. It's about the mob cap. Minecraft, part of the rules of mob spawning is, in general, I mean, it doesn't include spawners, but otherwise, is that it limits the number of mobs in a certain area. And once it gets to that cap, it won't spawn any other ones. So what we're trying to do with those slabs is not necessarily keep them out of the farm, but keep them from spawning at all, so that when Minecraft says, oh, there's not enough mobs here, we need some more mobs, it'll choose to spawn them in the farm rather than outside the farm. Leon3751 says, you should review the unbelievable shaders mod. Are you going to use it? It's really pretty. I saw Jordan's video on this, and yes, it is beautiful. I mean, gorgeous. Unfortunately, he did say in his video that he gets around 60 frames per second when recording, which sounds awesome, right? Well, from what I remember, I think Jordan has a GTX Titan video card, which is pretty much one of the most powerful video cards you can buy and a lot more powerful than mine. So I would think that if I was using the Unbelievable Shaders mod in the way he was, I'd probably get around, I maybe 20 to 25 if I'm lucky. And that's just too low of frame rate for me to record. Shockwave 280 says, think with this new update, do you think Lapis is going to become a valuable item in survival games? Well, it might. I think it's going to have to be an included item in survival games because I don't see it in chests that I can think of. Or maybe I do and I just disregard it because it's worthless. But yeah, I mean, in order to enchant, you need to have lapis. So I think it's going to become valuable and it's going to have to be added to some survival games. Complete to 35 asks, why don't you upload Hunger Games? You don't win. I do all the time. I usually don't upload them unless I make it to deathmatch. But then if I die in deathmatch to the person that I'm dueling with or whatever, I still upload it. But lately I've been winning in deathmatch, so that's why. Marley53113 on CP asks, will you ever get a new skin or will the one you have now be your main skin? Well, I won't get a new one, but I am working on, the new 1.8 version of it and, sort of making my gloves stand out from my hands and things like that. But no, I won't be changing my skin in any way. Katrina Bautista says, hey, Thinknoodles. I'm a bit new to Minecraft and I watch your snapshot adventure. I went into Creative World and I couldn't find a command block. I was wondering if there's a crafting recipe because I can't find it. Do you need to find it in a dungeon or something like that? PS Creative World was in Snapshot 14 W3B. All you have to do is give it to yourself. So just go to the command line and type /give and then your username. And then you can either use 137, which is the code for it, for the command block, but they're going to be deprecating those soon. So what you want to do is /give your username and then space command_block. And that'll give you the block. Ninja000 asks, dear Thinknoodles, I've watched every single one of your Hunger Games series, and I was wondering, how'd you get so good at it? Okay, first of all, I'm not that good. The ones that I do upload are the ones I do better in, and those are not always the case. Second, lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. That's how you get better at it. And I know it's frustrating, especially at first, but learn the maps, learn where the crates are. That's really, really critical because if you don't know where the crates are and you're just running around aimlessly, you're not going to do well. You need to have equipment because even if you're the best PvPer, if you do not have equipment, you are going to die. Animal Lover 02 says, hey, think on your Minecraft survival series, when you open your inventory, it says haste and speed. What does haste mean? I've always wondered this. Haste is like the opposite of mining fatigue, if you've ever gotten that effect. Basically, it makes digging and mining faster, sort of like speed, but for digging and mining. Jerry Potter asks, hey, Think, what's the difference between Better Sprint and the 1.7 sprint mechanic? Also, how do you activate them? Well, you can set the hotkey to whatever you want for both of them. But the 1.7 sprint mechanic is if you're walking forward and you hit the sprint key, which I set mine as G, it will start sprinting until I hit something like like a wall or I bump a tree or I miss a jump up something. It will stop my sprint. So then I'll have to press W again and then G again. Well, I could still hold W, I guess. So I would jump and then I'd tap G again and it would start sprinting again. With Better Sprint, all you do is at the beginning of whatever you're playing, maybe a Hunger Games, you click the Better Sprint toggle, which you could set as whatever you want, G or Z, or it doesn't matter. Set it to that and you press it once. And from then on, you will sprint. Even if you hit the side of something, when you start running again or walking again, you press W, it will sprint right away. Elaine Cheer 13 says, try this tongue twister. Betty bought some butter, but the butter was bitter, so Betty bought some better butter to make the better bitter. But I was so close. Wait, let me try one more time. Okay. Betty bought some butter, but the butter was so bitter, so Betty bought some better butter to make the bitter butter better. That was really good. Yes, I feel so accomplished. The Blue Horse Gamer says, wow, Think, you haven't been stealing noodles in a while. Now, be right back. Let me just get back to my super duper ultra spicy dog frog noodles. Hold on. Where's my super duper? Oh, you got it. Think why you do this. Well, guys, I guess I have turned back into a thief. All right, guys, that's it for this week's Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below. Also, don't forget that the likes target is set for 2,000 likes. Let's hit it this week, guys. I know you can do it. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, noodle on!